6 a.m. A metal door opens. Behind it, another. One more beyond that. 3 steel barriers between you and the corridor, and not one of them moves for you. They move at the guards. You stand up because you have to stand. You'll be upright for the next 16 hours. You face the wall, hands behind your back, and when the slot slides open, you say your name. Your crimes come next, out loud, recited to a guard who already knows both by heart. This is not a punishment. This is just Tuesday at Black Dolphin. If you're new here and you want real, raw stories that don't get told anywhere else, hit subscribe right now. This is what we do. The prison's official name is Penal Colony No. 6. It sits in Sol-Iletsk, a town in the Orenburg Oblast of Russia, pressed right against the border with Kazakhstan. Flat steppe stretches in every direction. There is nowhere to run, even if you somehow got out, which nobody has in the facility's entire history as a maximum security institution. The name Black Dolphin doesn't come from any official designation. It comes from a sculpture, a papier-mâché dolphin painted black, placed in the prison yard by an inmate serving life for rape and double homicide. Black was the only paint available. A dolphin, an animal that represents freedom, built by a man who will never know it again. The guards didn't remove it, they left it standing, and now it's the most famous thing about the place. This building has existed since at least 1745, when it was used to hold people sentenced to hard labor under the Tsars. After Pugachev's rebellion, a massive peasant uprising in 1773 that nearly brought down Catherine the Great's empire, the site was converted into a detention facility for criminals considered too dangerous for ordinary jails. It has been holding Russia's worst for nearly 300 years. In November 2000, the Russian government quietly transformed it into the country's first dedicated maximum security life sentence colony. That's when it became something genuinely different from anything that existed before it. And what happened next is where the story gets into territory most people have genuinely never heard. Because the question isn't just what's inside Black Dolphin, it's how a place like this works on a human being over time, and what it does to the people who work there, too. 700 inmates. That's the population. All of them serving life, with no release date. Russia does allow prisoners to apply for parole after 25 years served, but in practice, nearly every application from a Black Dolphin inmate gets denied. The deputy prison chief said it plainly, this is their final destination. The math on the collective crimes of those 700 men is staggering. Investigators and journalists have estimated they share responsibility for roughly 3,500 murders between them. That's an average of 5 per person. To be below average at Black Dolphin, you only had to kill 4 people. The daily schedule is rigid, in a way that goes past military discipline into something else entirely. Wake up at 6, make your bunk, wash up. From that point until 10 at night, lying down is prohibited, so is sitting on the bed. You stand or you take the stool. Every 15 minutes, a guard passes your cell to verify compliance. The cell runs 4 to 6 square meters, about the size of a large walk-in closet, shared with one other person, assigned by a prison psychologist after evaluation. Lights stay on, motion detectors run, cameras cover every angle. One inmate, named Nikolai Astenkov, serving life for killing an entire family and burning their bodies in a forest, described it this way: you have to remain constantly attentive because you are never, not once, unwatched. Sit with that. Exercise happens once a day, 90 minutes inside a cage, while guards tear through your cell behind you. Getting there is its own ritual. You bend at the waist, cuffed hands forced up behind your back, marched forward in a controlled stoop. Before you reach the yard, a black hood goes over your head. The building's layout stays unknown to you. No mental geography forms, no route memorized. The hood has a secondary purpose that almost nobody writes about. The prison is surrounded by tall buildings, and officials have noted that if dangerous inmates were to learn their exact position, a sniper from those buildings could theoretically be hired to reach them. The hood protects them as much as it controls them. Now here's where it gets into territory that changes how you understand everything else about this place. About 160 of Black Dolphin's population are on active psychiatric watch. Not because they arrived mentally ill, many of them did, but that's not the point. It's because of what years inside this specific regime produces. Guards have reported one man who woke convinced his legs had been stolen overnight. Another woke screaming, howling without warning for no discernible reason, and stopped just as abruptly. The psychiatric ward exists not at the edge of Black Dolphin, but threaded through it, woven into the daily operation because the conditions of the place, the total control, the permanent isolation, the sheer weight of a sentence with no end, generate a predictable rate of psychological breakdown. The system knows this, it accounts for it, and it does not change. The name on most people's lips when Black Dolphin comes up is Vladimir Nikolayev, convicted in 1997, sentenced to death, then that sentence converted to life when Russia's moratorium on executions came in. His crimes involved the cannibalization of 2 men, killed, then consumed. In a recorded interview, Nikolayev described boiling meat from one victim's thigh, deciding he didn't like the texture, chopping it and frying it instead. Some went to a friend, whose wife made dumplings from it and served them to her children. She was told it was kangaroo. There are no kangaroos in the Orenburg Oblast. Years into his sentence, Nikolayev said he'd prefer execution over continuing to live inside Black Dolphin. The state said no. What that tells you about the place, that its conditions can make a man who did what he did want out of life faster, that's not something to move past quickly. Work that out for yourself. Nur Kulayev is also there, one of the Chechen militants behind the 2004 Beslan school siege. 3 days, 334 dead, 186 of them children, the only attacker captured alive. Sentenced to life, transferred to Black Dolphin, and unlike many of his neighbors, Kulayev walked into an institution that had been running for 4 years by the time he arrived, a machine that had long since worked out exactly how to process a human being into permanent containment. The church inside the prison was built and painted by the inmates themselves. A priest named Father Vladimir holds regular services, and guards report that almost every prisoner eventually attends. Serial killers, mass murderers, men who did things that language barely covers. They go to confession. Whether that's evidence of genuine transformation or just the only door left open to them, the guards say they can't always tell the difference. One inmate, Igor Tishchenkov, sentenced to life for a gang shootout that killed 7 people and wounded 8 more. His father is also incarcerated at Black Dolphin for the same incident, told a reporter, "The most important thing is to avoid becoming embittered. It is so easy to turn into an animal here, but staying human is harder. That's why we try." That line was from a man who committed mass violence alongside his own father. And yet, there it is. The lieutenant who oversees day-to-day operations told National Geographic on camera that calling his inmates people makes his tongue bend backwards to even say it. Never felt sympathy for a single one of them. His words. And he said all of this while working in a building where men pray in a church they built with their own hands, where a cannibal says he would rather be dead, where a father and son share the same sentence in the same facility, and where a black dolphin made of papier-mâché stands outside the gate, painted the only color available, as the unofficial symbol of a place nobody leaves alive. Russia still observes a moratorium on the death penalty, so Black Dolphin stays full, and the sculpture remains where it was placed, painted black, going nowhere. If this is the kind of story you couldn't stop watching, stories about the places the world builds when it doesn't know what else to do, subscribe. There's more where this came from, and none of it sounds like anything you've heard before.